Two Words Publishing presents An Uncommon Woman, written by Laura Frantz, narrated by Amy Lilly. Heart of my own heart, whate'er befall, still be my vision, O ruler of all. Dallin Forgale, be thou my vision. Chapter 1. Buchanan River, Western Virginia, Spring 1770. Why could she not quit pondering that flounced petticoat? The rule of the river was vigilance, Pa had always said. Embraced by blooming redbud and dogwood on both banks, the Buchanan gushed snow-cold in the spring thaw, its muddy depths a maelstrom of danger. Yet even the high water could not keep Tessa's thoughts from wandering over mountain, nor silence her eldest brother's promise to return from there with a gift fit for a town-bred lass. Despite the sweat that slicked her brow and the fierce tug of the queasy current, despite the swarm of insects like a white blizzard over the water's surface, or the immense catfish that was visible mid-river, her wool-gathering loomed larger than the ferrying at hand. Starved for frippery she was. Might Jasper bring her a pined-for petticoat that fell with a flounce to the top of her ankle bone? "Tessa!" Her uttered name was half hiss. Rarely did Ross speak so. If he'd jabbed her with his iron-tipped setting pole, she'd have been less startled. While his gaze swung wide, taking in the opposite shore, hers narrowed to her youngest brother. His wary stance bespoke danger as much as the nervy, blindfolded horse they'd taken aboard their ferry. Ears back, nostrils flaring, tied to both railings by the bridle, the nag looked near to bolting. 'Twas always the creatures that sensed danger first. The ferry rocked from the horse's skittish dance, slapping the muddy water and sending up frothy spray. Squinting, Tessa scanned the west shore. Beyond the muted birdsong and wildflower-fringed bank they were hurtling toward were 11 Shawnee, streaked with war paint, their bald heads befeathered, all wending single file among the leafing trees. Their blackened eyes so like a coon's, their split earlobes adorned with flashing pendants and hoops, and their near-naked, hard-muscled forms sent a tremor through her. Even without war clubs, knives, and muskets likely gotten in Pontiac's rebellion, these were the deadliest of forest warriors, dark eyes trained on the ferry. "Lord Almighty," Ross breathed. 'Twas something their mother oft said, the start of many a silent prayer. Here and now, in their predicament, it seemed more epithet. "Pull backwards," Tessa choked out. "Backwards ain't no better," Ross shot back. Jerking her head around, she saw more Indians along the riverbank they'd just left. But not Shawnee. Cherokee. Bitter enemies. At mid-river now, the blindfolded horse's owner began a slow raising of his rifle. But at whom? Which side? "Drop anchor." Tessa spat out the hasty words like rancid cider. Ross was already at work, abandoning his setting pole for the heavy, forged iron weight roped to the deck. Trapped between the Buchanan's banks, they were at the mercy of the current's ruthless tug. Any second the anchor might give way and sweep them sideways downriver. Breaking from the line of warriors to the west, the lead Indian moved to the riverbank, every muscle tensed, bow drawn. His target? Stomach fisted and nerves raw, without so much as a barrel to cower behind, Tessa braced for the whoosh of his arrow. All life seemed suspended in that instant, her pining for a petticoat, a vain, trifling thing. A shrill Cherokee war whoop split the tense air at her back. Defiance pulsed in every syllable. The answer was a rapid release of 2 Shawnee arrows. Tessa whirled as an outcry erupted on the opposite bank, one taunting Cherokee doing a macabre dance. Stoic, the Shawnee reached into his fringed quiver, then drew his bow again. The whooping Cherokee fell, and his agile companions dragged him into the brush, even as the triumphant Shawnee faded into the forest. With a swollen river between them, little fighting would be done. Knees soft as candle wax, Tessa sank to the gritty deck. Slowly their foot passenger lowered his rifle. Ross studied the angle